Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off this video by giving all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKodash, Yahweh being the Father, okay, the Most High, the Highest, Yahweh Shai being the only begotten Son, the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and the Racha Kodash, which is the Holy Spirit, and that is all in the Paleo Hebrew, in the Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, which would be the correct way to call upon the names of the Most High, of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, because again, the Lord is the power, is the God of the Hebrews. Okay, those of the ancient times. Okay, the God of the Hebrews. So his name cannot be translated. Actually, names cannot be translated. All right, so his name stays the same, whether it's in English, whether it's in Japanese, whether it's in Korean, or whether it's in Cantonese or whatever language, whether it's in French, whether it's in Arabic, the name is still going to remain the same. Okay, and that being said, it says here in I like to give double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well, and peace, salutations, and blessings to the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. All right, so it says here, 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right, so that being said, that the Lord has given us a blueprint. He did not give us a time, because not even himself, Yahweh Shai himself, doesn't even know when he's going to return. Only the Father. Okay, which again proves that the Most High and the Messiah are two different entities. Okay, because the Most High knows what the time. Okay, he said he declared the end before the beginning. Okay, so yes, so when we see these things that are coming to pass, as it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uppours of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the day that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay, so from the beginning, those things were said. Okay, those things were prophesied. Okay, to prophesy means to say before. Okay, so again, the Lord told us the things that were about to happen in the last days, so that we can prepare ourselves for the return of the Messiah. Okay, so let's go into real quick, segue into those signs quickly. It says here in Matthew's 24, and I believe it's verse 5. It says here, Matthew 24 and verse 6 to the point, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So okay, so now we know that before Yahweh Shai returns, there's going to be upwars of the people and earthquakes. There's going to be wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So when you hear about wars and rumors of wars, when you see people being in a state of sedition against the government, against their rulers, okay, when you see earthquakes all over the world, okay, when you see plagues, pestilences, illnesses, diseases, when you see death around the corner, okay, that's when you know that, okay, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai spoke of these things, and this is the time that we are to prepare ourselves. And again, you have to understand that I believe it was Peter that said that, no, Yahweh Shai said that salvation is nearer than we believe. And actually it was Paul. High time. It says here, Romans 13:11. So the apostle Paul said this fact almost around 2,000 years ago. So how much more now are we close to our salvation? It says here in Romans 13:11, and knowing the time, watching the prophecies, watching the things that are happening in the world, okay, in the news, okay, the geopolitical aspect of things, the economy, seeing the downfall of the dollar. Okay, we're watching all these things and paying attention to what's happening in the world. It says here, and knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, meaning out of the darkness, out of that ignorance. You have to wake up out of that ignorance, because you have to turn back to the Lord and follow after his follow after the writings, follow after the gospel. Okay, because it's only through faith that you will obtain salvation. Okay, so you have to wake out of that sleep. And what's that sleep? That represents the fact that you don't know about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You don't know his intentions. Okay, and you don't know which way to go to obtain salvation. Okay, so when you wake up out of the sleep, you have the light. Okay, it says the earth is in darkness and the people are in gross darkness, but his light shall rise upon you. Okay, meaning those that he has chosen to enlighten with this knowledge. Through this knowledge, now you're guided. It says your word is a light unto my step, unto my feet. Okay, so everywhere you go is directed by the fear of the Lord, and you're being guided by his angels to make the right decisions. Okay, so that's how you're gonna so now it's time to seek the Lord. As it was in your mind to go astray from the Lord, now being returned, repenting, acknowledging your fault, seek the Lord 10 times more. Okay, that's how you wake up out of your sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believed, and that was 2,000 years ago. How much more now are we closer and closer and closer day by day unto the return of the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, which his real name is Yahushai. Okay, so it says here. So that being said, let's go into the news. Usually I like to go to RT News, the Russian outlet. Okay, but we'll see what's going on, because usually, you know, when you go into like the Western news, they don't tell you the whole aspect. So I kind of like RT News. Okay. So it says here, the first headline says here, 57 minutes ago, Trump warns Iran of great danger. Okay, so again, wars and rumors of wars. Okay, so let's see what this is talking about. Okay, it says here, the U.S. president has claimed Washington is holding direct negotiations with Tehran to avoid doing the obvious. What is the obvious? Bombing. There's going to be a lot of bombing. Okay, this is the obvious thing. Because again, you have to remember that he's a bloody man. Okay? It's nothing for these Edomites to push the button. Matter of fact, it's in their nature. They want to push the button. Okay, so it says here, President Donald Trump has announced that the United States will engage in a very high-level talk with Iran over the nuclear program on Saturday, warning that if the negotiations fail, the Islamic Republic will face a very bad day. So what does that mean, a very bad day? It means that, hey, you never know, man. We might be a very high level talk away from Iran and the United States going to war, and that's one step closer to nuclear war. Okay, to a MAD situation, mutually assured destruction situation type of scenario. But we have to understand that all these things must come to pass, and it's not yet the end of this wicked kingdom, because again, World War III has to be in play, man. World War III has to come to pass. All right. So, and again, the Amalekites, the state, the so-called state of Israel, has to be the one to force the United States to enter into World War III. Okay, through the actions of the state of Israel, the United States will have to partake and engage in a global warfare. Okay, so again, it says here, the United States will engage in a very high level talks. In very high level talks with Iran over the nuclear program on Saturday. Okay, so again, nuclear, and it's a part of prophecy. These other nations, they're gonna have to increase in the armament of nuclear weaponry. Okay, they will have to, because it's prophesied that 1,000 times 1,000 nuclear missiles will be directed towards America to destroy it, and that is according to biblical prophecy. Okay. So it's in the book of Revelation. If you dare to go take a look for yourself, okay? So it says here, warning that if the negotiations fail, the Islamic Republic will face a very bad day. Okay. It says here the U.S. president revealed last month that he sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Okay, so like if I butchered the name. Okay, but regardless, proposing fresh negotiations over the nuclear deal that the U.S. unilaterally abandoned during Trump's first term in 2018. He went on to threaten Iran with bombing strikes, the likes of which it has never seen if Tehran rejects the offer. So not only, as it says, he's more stout than his fellows. Okay, so he's threatening another leader, a leader of a different country, that he's gonna bomb their ass if they don't submit to his will. Okay, so if the supreme leader of Iran doesn't submit to the intentions of Donald Trump, there'll be bombings like the likes of which it has never seen. Okay, so Donald Trump is throwing heavy threats. Okay, you see, so again, this is wars and rumors of wars. Okay, because it's not a war yet. Okay, it's in a sense, it's in the state of a cold war because it's actually not in the physical. Okay, but right now they're in the talking stage. Okay, but even in the talking stage, it says the mouth is a little member, but how much evil proceeded out of it. Okay, with the word, with your mouth, the words that come out of your mouth, you can de-escalate a situation or aggravate a situation. And Donald Trump just sent threats. How do you think this is gonna arrange the situation? When you send threats, that means that you're prepared to fight. Okay, you can't just send threats and not back it up. Okay, so if he rejects, there has to be a retaliation. Okay, because he needs to be a man of his words. He needs to stand on his words, or else he's gonna look like a pussy. Okay. And you know Donald Trump, because of his pride, he's the embodiment of the American pride. He's not gonna let that pass, man. If the Iran supreme leader refused to bow down, there's gonna be repercussions. Okay, and there's gonna be a beautiful thing to see, man. Okay, for you that are in the right mindset, wanting this wicked kingdom to come to an end, wanting World War III to come to pass. Okay, because we understand that the Messiah will enter the scene in the midst of World War III. So yes, we want World War III to begin, because as World War III begins, we're gonna get closer and closer to our salvation. Okay, and again, we understand that prophecy has to come to pass, and the mark of the beast has to be implemented. But all these things, like a domino, okay, they're all being set in place and in motion to all, and then at the end, at the climax, it's all gonna fall together. Okay, while the MOTB is being implemented, World War III is gonna start, or it's gonna be in the process. Okay, wars are gonna be happening. Okay, and the persecution of those that fear the Lord, the famine of the word, all these things must come to pass in the near future. Okay, hopefully hopefully sooner than we expect, man. Okay, so let's go see another article. Okay, it says here, so that was an article pertaining to war. It says here, you see, even now the EU, okay, it talks about, it says the EU to yield every tool against the US tariff trade chief. Okay, Washington levies affects around 70% of the bloc's total export, according to the commissioner Moroz Sefcovic. Okay, so it says here the EU is ready to deploy every tool to shield its market from the impact of the US President Trump's new tariffs if negotiations fail. Trade Commissioner Moroz Sefcovic has said. Okay, and then they go into it. Speaking at the press conference on Monday, Sefcovic said that the trade relation with the bloc's largest partner was in a tough spot. He stressed that Brussels remain open to talk but will not wait endlessly. Okay, so people are being stressed, they're being pressed by the United States and their tariffs. Okay, which again is not gonna affect those major companies. It's not gonna affect those politicians. It's really gonna affect the everyday buyers. Okay, the populations, your average Joe. Okay, Becky, Susie. Okay, those are the ones that are gonna have to pay the price of those tariffs. Okay, you see, because at the end of the day, it trickles down to the population, not to the higher ups. All right. So it says here, according to Sefcovic, the Commission has prepared a robust list of countermeasures which will be voted on April 9th and formally adopted on April 15. The first wave of retaliatory duties will come into effect in that day, with a second round following on May 15. Trump has framed his Liberation Day tariff as a move to restore balance to global trade, accusing other nations of ripping off the U.S. through harmful policy. So, in a sense, the Donald Trump is retaliating against his allies, okay, because he believes that he's being wronged. He believes that his country is being wronged, okay. So it says here, but again, he's taxing even his allies. So he doesn't care if it's an enemy, if it's a friend, if it's a neighbor. Donald Trump wants to tax everyone, man. You see, so that he can bring, as it says, as the saying goes, make America great again. Okay, so he's saying that everyone's ripping off America. He's not gonna stand idle and allow these things to happen. So he's coming with a great force to pressure everyone to submit to the will of America. Okay. So, but again, these people, these nations, they're not looking happy, and that's what will lead the allies of the United States to turn their backs on them, on the United States, and send nuclear missiles on the whore. Let me bring that out. It says here in Revelation 17 and 16, it says here, and the 10 horn which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So the nations, okay, so the nations that are allied, okay, because again the whore represents America, and she sitteth on the beast, so NATO and the EU. Okay, so the European nations, okay, they're gonna turn their backs on America, okay, and hate the whore. They're gonna hate her because of the oppression that they're afflicting them with. Okay, so it says here, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. When it says eat her flesh and burn her with fire, that goes into the nuclear missiles. It's parabolic lingo to tell you that when those nuclear missiles are going to hit ground zero, which is America, there's not going to be anything left. The land is going to be completely desolate. Okay, well, only wild beasts is gonna become the land is gonna become a desert, and only wild beasts and evil spirits are gonna dwell there. Okay, you see. So that's what's gonna happen. It says here in Obadiah, I believe 1 and 7. It says here, all that and again that goes into that's a book pertaining to Edom, a prophetic book concerning Edom, or rather his judgment. It says here, the vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai concerning Edom, aka Edomite, aka Esau, okay, aka the so-called white man. Okay, we have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Okay, so these other nations, they're gonna rise up against Babylon the Great because of her pride. It says pride is hateful before both the Most High and man. Okay, and again the Edomites are the most proud, and there's no and people even now it's a thing. People know the Americans as being very prideful individuals. Okay. It's such a as they say, the American pride. Okay, so it says here, Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised because of your pride, because of your arrogance. Okay, the pride of thine heart had deceived thee. So these people are being deceived because of the pride. They don't even imagine in their minds that that America is gonna be defeated, that America is gonna lose its position. They believe that they're gonna remain on top, man. But that's not the plan that the Lord has in place. Okay, even after World War III, these other nations believe that they're going to be ruling the earth. But no, the Lord is going to establish one that was never thought of. The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those that have been scattered all over the world, the children of Israel, okay, they're going to be the ones ruling the kingdom to come. Okay, they're going to be immortal. They're going to be invincible. Okay, they're going to be righteous. The whole earth is going to be in a better state. It's going to be well off. It's going to revert into a state of Eden, aka paradise. Okay, the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth, and righteousness is going to flourish on earth. So everything is going to be in a harmony with creation. Okay, the way that the Lord intended it to be. Okay, so it says here, jump to verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee, so your allies, okay, with thee, have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay, so all these nations that you're talking big, oh, there will be bombing. You know, you're gonna get bombed. They're like you never seen it before, man. The Americas are gonna get bombed, man. Okay, you're gonna get destroyed, man. Babylon the Great is going to get hit with a barrage of nuclear missiles, man, to the point where it's going to change the whole geography of the planet. Okay? The amount of missiles that are going to hit the Americas is going to change the geography of the planet, man. Okay? And that's why it says a new earth, a new heaven, okay? A new rulership and a new geography on the earth, man. The earth is going to have its third state. You see, its third form, final form in the sense, you see. Okay, so going back to RT News and bringing out another article, because there was a few articles that I seen today that made me smile, man. Okay, so it says here, let me see, I have to find them. So again, the tariffs are another source of war. Okay, because as they said, the tariff war. Okay, it says one of the titles of those articles, it says U.S. stocks sink again as tariff war heats up. So a war can be financial, it could be on the medical front, it could be on the technology front, it could be actual war combat on land, in the sky, on sea. Okay, so the war has many facets. Okay, so now the wars and rumors of war, now they're in a tariff war. Okay, they're in a Cold War where they're actually going back and forth one versus another, which eventually leads to actual physical war. Okay, so it says here, let me try to find, oh yeah, it says here, Germany, the title says Germany to prepare children for war. Okay, it says here, a Russian attack on NATO territory is a realistic scenario. So like Berlin reportedly believes, despite Russian reassurance. Okay, it says here, the German Interior Ministry is advising schools to prepare children for crisis and war. I'm not even going to try to say that. Newspaper reported on Monday, citing a ministry spokesperson, a raft of calls for civic readiness. Okay, so they're already putting it in the people's minds. Prepare yourself for war. Okay, there's a time for every season under the heavens, under the sun. Okay, and now we're not in the time of peace. We're not in the time of mirth. We're in the time of war. Okay, and right now it's on the eastern side of the world, but eventually it's gonna get to the west. Okay. And when it gets to the west, these people are going to lose it because these people are so used to living deliciously, delicately. Okay? These people are going to have a rough time conforming to the realities of war. Okay? You see? And that's why the love of many shall wax cold. All right, we're gonna come into where the Western society is gonna become a first world country. Okay, and the Canada, United States. Okay, they're gonna become first world countries, man. Okay, and again hated by these other nations. Okay, especially America. Yeah, more America more so than Canada. Okay, but even so, okay, we're Canada and the America, we're connected. Okay, we're basically neighbors. We're basically sharing the same land. Okay, so once America gets hit with the nuclear missiles, of course we're gonna feel it too, in the land of Canada. Okay, so it says here, a raft of calls for civil readiness has been made by Western European governments since U.S. President Donald Trump took office, and begin at the beginning of the U.S. brokered Ukraine peace talk, described by German Foreign Minister as a deadlock. Okay, it says here, given the recent developments in security situation, a greater focus should be placed on civil defense, including in school education. Okay, an Interior Ministry spokesperson told. Okay, according to the outlet, a Russian attack on NATO territory in 4 to 7 years is considered a realistic scenario. So they're already expecting the worst. They expect Russia to attack any NATO territory, which will, again, if Russia attacks a NATO territory, a NATO country, that would start World War III in a sense, because if you attack one, you attack all of them. So if you attack a country of NATO, all these other countries that are associated with NATO have to come to aid that country, roughly paraphrasing, and that would set up a scenario that would lead to World War III. Okay, if things like that happen. But like I said before, this action has to be caused by the state of Israel leading the Americas into war. So it's not really going to come from Russia, but it's most likely, according to prophecy, happen because of the state of Israel. Okay, those fake people that claim to be the children of the Lord when they're really the children of the one that was rejected, Esau, Edom. Okay, so it says here, I believe there was one last article that I wanted to bring out. Let's see if I can find it. It was pertaining to Iran again. But yeah, okay, so we understand that there's frictions between Iran and the United States. We understand that the tariffs are messing everybody up. Okay, these countries are giving the side eyes to the United States because of the tariffs that have been imposed by Donald Trump. Okay, and let me see if I can find the last article I had in mind. Looks like I can't find it. Let me see, Zimbabwe. Let's see. So even the kids have to get ready for war. Okay. Okay. That was another one. So Iran, Trump, and that's about it. 3 articles. Straight to the point. I believe that made sense. But these are the things that we are to watch and pay attention to when it comes to prophecy. Those little events, those situations can lead up to bigger situations. As it says, the domino effect. One domino here falls, one domino there falls, and which will lead up to a greater catastrophe, or whatever how you say that word. So yeah. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Keep paying attention to prophecies. Okay, we're almost out of here, man. This kingdom is on his way out. It's circling the drain, and hopefully, we're able to witness it. Lord will, we're able to witness the return of Yahushua in this lifetime, man. All right. So Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.